Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. Today we will be doing a little planner chat slash setup slash plan with me. Just talking about my two planners, how they're currently set up, how I'm using them, and then my new archive section. So yeah. And my A6 and my A5 agenda. So I have my Louis Vuitton GM agenda, which is the large ring agenda. This is the A5. It consists of my overall schedule, my overview planner inserts, and then my weekly task inserts that I like to call my tactical planning. And then we have my Moterm A6 agenda. So I was using the Mulberry. I have a full video on the switch and the reason behind it. Did a poll on Instagram and everything. But we also have some new weekly inserts in here, and we're gonna move a few things around because I have decided what I want to call this planner and then what I want to do with it. So I've already, for the most part, set up my GM. So there'll be a few flips in here. So if you haven't already seen the most recent version, here is my weekly tasks. And so these are the weekly overview inserts. So these are the weekly plan inserts from Infinite Lotus. These came in the sub box, but they are available on the website. I'll have everything linked below that I can link. And so I've really been loving these as a overview. This is just, and this is why I call them the overview. But this is like high level, what is going on. And that way it's a quick glance. Typically I have my planner open. Recently it's been here so I can just see if there's anything going on during the day or if I need to plan something out. But I have like all the appointments and then just notable items, some sports in here, but otherwise more tactical things like laundry, errands, different things like that I don't put in here. I've been using my weekly task inserts for that. And then for meetings and everything for work, as well as just time sensitive things like the appointments that are on there, I always have to have an hourly view. So these are my hourly inserts from ROSIE PAPETERIE. If I haven't mentioned it yet, I'll have everything linked below that I can link, as well as my discount codes. But in here, we just have work, and then I mark if I'm going to the trail with Mira, if I go to, when I go to the gym. I have some games in here, different things like that, little blocks. And then there's a tracker, which is comes in handy. And then I like to just keep sticky notes and stuff in this view because for the most part, if it's not on my overview inserts and I'm not actively planning in the weekly tasks, my hourly is what's up for the week. Just because I have a full week at a glance, and again, I'm visual, so I like being able to see what's going on. So that is these inserts. And so I don't think there's too much that I need to set up, so that's why I just wanted to show y'all. I started doing monthly setup videos where I start setting up the planners for the full month, and then midway through the month a plan with me where I kind of fill in the rest, fill in gaps, show y'all what's changed, and then end of month flips. And I'm liking the system, but if you saw the monthly setup video, I did print out some more inserts so that we have those in there. And then I think while I was at it, I actually ended up filming the rest of the month, which is fine because, or not filming, but setting up the rest of the month, which is fine because this is ultimately, I needed to put in my Real ID appointment. And then I was trying to figure out if I'm taking off work for my dissertation defense, which is actually going to be this Monday. Oh, we can add a sticker in here because I need one there. But I am so excited. So if you haven't seen it yet, and I don't know if I've shared it on YouTube, I think I have, my dissertation chair accepted the edits, or I should say approved the edits for defense for my dissertation, which is so exciting. I've been able to focus on and work on, and naturally, right, since I have to prep for it. But yeah, I'm very excited, very nervous, but that is the 22nd. And so I ended up taking off the Friday before, so that way I can just spend the day and the entire weekend primarily just focusing on prep for that. And then to get my mind off things, take a little break. Saturday, my husband and I are gonna do a hike or something, because I was I know I'm gonna want to unplug for just a bit. And then hockey starts this weekend, so that's also really exciting. But yeah, I'm nervous, but I'm so excited to finally get to this point. And yeah, I wanted to set everything up so that way I could like plan out like different meetings and different tasks that are going on, so that way I don't have to worry about it when the time comes, or like during this week. So where did I put my stickers? I think these are it. I was trying to organize, there is my stickers, so that way I had like relevant ones in each planner. Since I can keep stickers in my Moterm, I can't really keep stickers in my Mulberry, but we have that. And so yeah, this is the week, or this is like the second to last week of September, and then we have this week. So we'll keep this as is. I don't see us spending too much time in this planner after this, but I wanted to give you all the update. And then the weekly tasks have been working well. One thing I really wanted to focus on in this video is that in these inserts, you have this note section down here. And so ultimately what I've been wanting is just, I think I've mentioned in videos and on Instagram, I want to have a horizontal layout again. And I'm thinking about doing that in the A6, which is why I added the vertical inserts in here. But I want to just kind of track different things like what I'm reading, you know, if I start a book, not necessarily appointments, right? Because I have, like I mentioned at the beginning, my schedule, my overview, which tracks all of that. This is the tactical planner part where I come in and do like all this, like plan out all the small things and what I'm doing when, but really something kind of a little bit more fun in a way. And so I decided to call it my archive, and that is what we'll be setting up primarily in this video and moving things around to adjust. But that way I can keep track of things like this. So ultimately what I want to do is track, again, like what I'm reading, different trails that I probably do with my dog, some health management, so that way I can track different symptoms and things, because I need to keep track of a few things going on. And then I also want to track like weight and different things like that. So all that in there, and I'll show you all that. And I already kind of started this week. I was trying to get that going in here, and I think we'll still keep some of it. So as y'all can see, I had gym, deliveries, Instagram, and YouTube. And then this past week I had gym, deliveries, and then Instagram, because I didn't really have anything on YouTube. And then here I did gym, kind of like a health, and then Instagram, and then YouTube will be this weekend. But I want to keep, I think I'm going to keep the gym and Instagram in here, I think. But the health will come out. Deliveries will also stay in here. And then like the reading and stuff that you see here, I'm gonna move that completely out because I don't really need it. But ultimately, what I want to do in these inserts, and let me go there now that y'all have seen this and kind of saw like what I was trying to do. I just don't think using the tactical inserts work. It's not really what I wanted. I wanted something a little bit more fun. So here is my A6 Moterm agenda. And so we have, if you didn't see the setup video, the mountain dashboard from Infinite Lotus with the where there's a will, there's a way cover set from Cloth and Paper, which I love this pairing. I think it looks so pretty and perfect in this planner. And then these are my new stickers from ROSIE PAPETERIE. I have my 2026 haul either coming up next or it just posted before this. Again, I don't know where I'm at in like content, but what I did is I created a little section here, and again, I want to call it archive. And I currently have this archive vellum on my, or in my reading section, so my reading list section. And I'm going to take this because I liked it because, you know, it made sense, archive, like a library, have a list here, but I don't necessarily need the cover here, especially since I know like this is reading. And then I think it makes, you know, with the like bookshelf dashboard, you can clearly see it's for reading. But what we're gonna do is move this up front. And I like that I already had a vellum that said archive, so the name was kind of perfect. And so this is a vellum again from Cloth and Paper, and so it says archive, completed records and stored. That's somewhat similar to what I'm doing, right? So in these inserts, these are the vertical weekly inserts. And so with these, you have a month on 2-page. And so I go back and forth between adding this. And so ultimately what I'm doing on this is kind of like a main thing that's happening that day. And there are appointments and items in here, but that is just because if I want to take this planner with me on the go, I want to be able to reference it. And so I do have appointments in here, and then I have them highlighted for like the days that are appointment. Otherwise I have like different games, kickoff, like lunch with a friend, day off, different things like that. So it's a mix of my calendar as well as, you know, what is going in the archive section. And again, that's just so if I want to take this with, I do have a reference of what's going on within this planner. But that is the monthly view, and then you go into the weeks. And so like I said, these are the weekly vertical inserts. And so this is ultimately what I want to do. So I have the book that I was reading, and then I started reading another book on this day, and I feel like that works perfectly because I have the weekly, I have the reading list / reading section in here. And so I think that helps complement this planner, right? Because it's all in here. And so having this as like the main, or at the beginning of the planner, and then like all the details and like everything's broken down within the rest of the planner, I really like that concept. So we have what I'm reading, the trails I did with Mira, and then I'm also tracking the miles. I don't do time because time is completely based on her. And honestly, that's not something like we're trying to like, we walk, we don't run, we don't like try and outdo anything. If she gets, you know, there's some days where she's better than others, so she'll get distracted. If there's like a lot of dogs or something on the trail, a lot of squirrels, some days she's really good and just like walks. But I'm not gonna do time, but I am gonna do miles to keep track of that and the activity, because we're doing it primarily for activity anyways. And then I think it's fun because there are, these trails are very long since we're in the PMW, and we like do different sections, and then we only do like certain sections each time, so it does vary. So this is nice to kind of just keep track of that and like what we did. And then, as I mentioned, I want to track different health items. So like I have my weight here. I'm really excited to have this, and then to track, like I mentioned, with PCOS, those symptoms. I think I'll take note of different items in here as well, because I do want it to be focused on health. But yeah, we have this. And so if you saw that initial setup video, I had this initially behind a tab. And what I decided to do is not put meals in here. And that was one thing that I was thinking of, because I was like, if there's going to be health, if there's going to be like, you know, activities, different things like that, it does kind of make sense to do meals. But I'm not consistent with meal tracking, and it just becomes too much. And I don't think I want that in this view right now. And so what I decided to do is use these inserts from Cloth and Paper that I got a while ago. And I initially bought them to track health items, and so it kind of like works out perfectly. But what I was doing was I had one for weight, one for notable like symptoms, like when my cycle started, different things like that. And again, that's going to go in this section. And then I did, I think, breakfast / lunch, and then dinner. And so instead of doing that, it's broken down into breakfast, lunch, dinner, and then any snacks. So yeah, that's what we have here. And then I can actually fill this in. Okay, so dinner and snack for today. This is the day that I'm filming, but I really like this, and that way, again, it's separated. And that way too, if I don't want to track meals that week, or if I like lose track of it, then I don't feel obligated to do it. Meanwhile, like if it were to happen in these inserts, I wouldn't like how inconsistent it looked, right? And that's just something that would bother me. That's another reason too why I wanted to move some of this out of this planner, because since I dedicated like an entire row to it, and this is just me like wanting structure and everything, but since I didn't want to dedicate an entire like row to certain things that varied, that's where I was like, okay, well, let me take this part out. And honestly, I've been thinking about maybe moving content into here, since I do have the content planner, and since I'll probably be in this a little bit more now. So I wasn't really using my Mulberry A6 every single day, maybe like a few times a week, really for like whatever I needed it for. But with these style inserts, I feel like I'll be in it, especially since I also have my calendar and I can take it with me. And if I'm like, if I have things in here to like fill out, I'll definitely use it more, right? Like now I can track my meals. I'm tracking like books I'm reading. I can update my reading list. I can update content faster. So if I just have, I'm trying to find the best way to phrase this. If I typically just have like one thing to update in here, I might not be consistent with it, versus where there's a lot of things that I need to update, I'll probably be in this a lot more, right? Because I need it. And these are also things that I need or I want to track right now. So with that in mind, that's where I think shifting some of this out comes. And then I think it'll be like trial and error, right? To see like what I like versus like what needs to be done. But yeah, overall, that is my new archive section. And I really, again, just liked the title of it, but also I think it makes sense because it's ultimately things that I want to store, right, and save and remember. And so I might add photos in here. I do have like a little photo printer, so I'm thinking about doing stuff like that too, but I don't want to get like too decorative, but I kind of do want to get decorative. So we'll see on all of that. Yeah, I don't want to put in different things like appointments or stuff like that, because that's not what this is. And then, as y'all know, if you've been filming for a bit, I have my outbox, which actually holds appointments and everything in here. So I do have it in here. I don't need it on those inserts yet again, because it's not the purpose of them, right? So yeah, that is the new archive section, and that is the current setup. So again, archive, inbox, outbox. We have my reference section, and so we have the weekly tab, which is the meal planning / lists. We have my monthly, which is the finance section, and I have an inbox in here, but these. Then we have my content section with these lists from Infinite Lotus. I can't remember if I said it yet. I'm sorry if I already have. I've been batch filming, but I'll have everything linked below that I can link, as well as discount codes. And then this is the list section. So again, now we have all of my primary lists, so order trackers, different things like that. My reading section with my reading list. And then I also have a project and notes section. And so this has the project inserts as well as just notes. So that is the setup, and that is going to be it for this video. So if y'all have any questions, please feel free to let me know, and thank you guys so much for watching.